Whoa. Talk about a way to start a story, right? That's not just some dramatic line from a movie. It's a real-life moment that completely upended the life of author James Clear, and it's the very thing that forced him to rebuild himself piece by piece, tiny habit by tiny habit. And that's exactly what we're diving into today, the incredible ideas from his blockbuster book, Atomic Habits. We're going to break down how these seemingly small, everyday routines have the power to create just staggering, life-changing results. But to really get a feel for how powerful this framework is, you have to go back to the beginning. We have to start where he did, in a hospital, facing a future that looked absolutely nothing like the one he had planned. I mean, the damage was just catastrophic. We're talking a broken nose, multiple fractures in his skull, and both of his eye sockets were shattered. The swelling in his brain got so bad that it triggered seizures, and doctors had no choice but to put him into a medically induced coma. This was not some minor injury. This was a life-on-the-line situation. And here's the thing about his recovery. There was no magic moment, no single breakthrough. It was just painfully slow. It took him 8 months just to be able to drive a car. A year later, in a moment he called humiliating, he was cut from the baseball team he'd worked so hard for. But then, fast forward 6 years from the day of the accident, and he was named the top male athlete at his entire university. So how on earth did he do that? Well, it wasn't with one giant leap. It was with thousands and thousands of tiny little steps. And that experience, that long, slow climb, it forged this core idea. This quote says it all, really. It's about how those small, almost invisible choices we make every day start to compound, like interest in a bank account, until they turn into something truly massive. So how do we actually make that work for us? Well, first we need to peek under the hood and see how our habits are built. Turns out there's a science to it. Every single habit you have, whether it's a good one or a bad one, runs on the exact same, surprisingly simple 4-step loop that's happening inside your brain. And this is it. This is the blueprint, the habit loop. It always starts with a cue. That cue triggers a craving. The craving then motivates a response. And finally, that response delivers a reward. This simple pattern is the invisible engine driving so much of what you do, every single day, without even thinking about it. Let's make this real with something we all know. The cue. Your phone buzzes. The craving, that instant itch, that, ooh, I wonder who that is. The response? You pick up the phone and check the notification. And the reward? Curiosity satisfied, you know what's going on. And that little hit of satisfaction from the reward, that tells your brain, hey, that was good. Let's remember this little sequence for next time. You run that loop enough times and bam, it becomes totally automatic. So the million-dollar question is, how do we get in the driver's seat and take control of this thing? Well, this brings us to the really fun part, the user manual for your brain. James Clear essentially reverse engineers this whole loop into 4 simple, brilliant laws that we can use to build the habits we want and, just as importantly, break the ones we don't. The whole idea is to hijack this process for our own good. For each of those 4 steps, cue, craving, response, reward, there's a corresponding law. Think of them like levers you can pull to make good habits practically inevitable. Okay, law number 1 is all about that first step, the cue. The law is make it obvious. Your brain can't act on a cue it doesn't notice. So instead of a vague goal like, I want to meditate, you create a crystal clear plan. That could be an implementation intention, like, I will meditate for 1 minute at 7 a.m. in my kitchen, or you can use habit stacking. After I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. See? The cue is right there. You can't miss it. Next up, law number 2 targets the craving. Make it attractive. I mean, it's pretty simple. We're way more likely to do something if we actually want to do it. So how do you do that? Well, one cool trick is temptation bundling. You pair something you need to do with something you want to do. Like, you only let yourself listen to your favorite podcast while you're working out. Even more powerful, join a group where the habit you want is just what they do. We are hardwired to fit in, so if everyone around you is hitting the gym, you're much more likely to crave it. All right, law number 3 is all about the response, and it's a big one. Make it easy. Let's be real, our brains are lazy. We are designed to follow the path of least resistance. So instead of fighting that, let's use it. Make the good habits the easiest ones to do. And the secret weapon for this is the absolutely brilliant 2-minute rule. The rule is just so simple, it almost feels like cheating. Your big goal of run 3 miles feels like a lot of work, right? But the 2-minute version is just tie my running shoes. That's it. Anyone can do that. Read before bed each night becomes read one page. Study for class becomes open my notes. You're creating a tiny little gateway that's so easy, it's almost impossible to say no to. And that's why this is so powerful. You see, the point isn't to run the marathon on day one. The point is to master the simple act of showing up. You're not trying to become a fitness god overnight. You're just trying to become the type of person who consistently puts on their running shoes. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, law number 4, make it satisfying. This one is critical because it's all about the reward. The simple rule for your brain is this: what gets rewarded gets repeated. So if you want to have it to stick, you have to give yourself some kind of immediate win, some small bit of satisfaction the second you finish. That's what closes the loop and tells your brain, yep, that was worth it. Let's do it again. Okay, so we've got these 4 practical, powerful laws. But here's where we zoom out, because this whole system is about something so much bigger than just getting more stuff done. It's about fundamentally changing who you are. Here's the core idea that just might blow your mind. Every single action you take is like casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. Every time you write one sentence, you cast a vote for I am a writer. Every time you go to the gym, you cast a vote for I am a healthy person. Your habits literally become the evidence of your identity. And this right here is the ultimate point of it all. The goal isn't just to get washboard abs or finally clean out the garage. Though those things are great, the real lasting change happens when you start to change your beliefs about yourself. When you prove to yourself, one tiny action at a time, that you are the kind of person who can achieve those things. That's the secret sauce. So I'll leave you with this one question. After everything we've talked about today in this explainer, after seeing how the smallest actions can compound into a whole new life, what's your one tiny change? What's the first vote you're going to cast for the person you want to become?